and welcome to the Shark Scale. Today's movie is Deep Blue Sea, the 1999 classic with Samuel and some other famous actors. The movie is actually requested, so I know I'm not the only one who wanted to look at this movie. Now, this Shark Scale is a little special because it's actually the last Shark Scale of the summer of 2019. Summer's ending, guys. I mean, school's starting up and work's picking up and games are coming out, and I just don't really have the time to do any more Shark Scale videos, and so I'm calling the season's over pretty much. It was fun while it lasted. I very much appreciate if you guys even watched one of my previous Shark Scale videos. Much appreciated. Much love. And here's the final Shark Scale of the summer of 2019. Why not end it with such a great movie? Deep Blue Sea. Let's just get right into it. So, Deep Blue Sea takes place in 2000 and sees a bunch of scientists meeting up with their lead investor. He joins the scientists in going to work at the lab to see results. See, the scientists are working on curing Alzheimer's disease. They have a base on top of the ocean and it goes a few floors down into the water as well. They're experimenting on sharks to find this cure. Well, what basically ends up happening is that the sharks become super smart. See, to be tested on for the disease, the scientists had to enlarge the shark's brain cells so they become super smart. And let's just say our favorite friend in the sea gets smart enough to realize it's in a cage. A big cage. The story is moderately good in the movie. Sure, it is a little generic, don't get me wrong, but for '99, this wasn't a totally overplayed trope yet. It was still generally new. So for that, I give it a pass. It is a bit predictable in all honesty, but I still liked it quite a bit. It wasn't amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but it was good, and I still thought it was unique enough. I wasn't too huge on the characters, though. I thought nobody really stood out all that much, to be honest. They were all, at best, okay and tolerable, but besides that, I was just not really impressed. Nobody just stood out. Nobody was impressive. It was all just kind of like the same level of meh. They tried to give small backstories to the characters, but I thought that these were quite lackluster and didn't really help build the characters very much at all. In conclusion, the story and its characters were serviceable to good. Now, when it comes to how often the sharks are on screen, it was quite good actually. While I will say the first 30 minutes or so barely has the sharks on screen, the rest of the movie totally makes up for it. They are in nearly every scene after that first part of the movie. I would say that is actually very well done in terms of pacing the sharks out, and I just think it was great, especially for a Hollywood movie. I was quite satisfied with it. When it comes to the kills in this movie, these were good to great. The locations for all the kills were all extremely unique, as they're on a base that's basically getting flooded. Because of that, we have kills in hallways, kitchens, and even more unique areas for people to be killed in. So while the areas might be unique, the actual kills themselves, I will say, are a bit standard. They're not the most original kills. A number of them just involve a shark ramming into somebody with its mouth. But they were definitely impactful. If I could describe the kills in one word, it would be impactful, because while they are not the most original, they are definitely lengthy. They're all pretty long, and I think there's only one quick kill in the entire movie, which was actually really nice to see. It's nice to occasionally see these kills get drawn out and fully seen. It's all nice stuff. It's definitely a quality over quantity situation, as there aren't that many kills in the movie, but I actually think pretty much all of them are really well done. Mostly, pretty much all of them, they were all quite long and really sold the fact that they were getting attacked by a shark. Now, I gotta commend them for that. I wish there were a few more kills in the movie, but it was still good. Now, for the quality of the sharks, it was actually very good for 1999. It's almost all special effects, and yeah, it's aged pretty poorly, but for the time they look great. I think it all looked good for when it came out in around 2000, and I've seen a lot worse. When they're in the water, I think it looks relatively great. It's when they grab someone, it looks pretty lackluster. It's just not that great when it comes to getting someone. It's just really not up to snuff. It moves really stiff and it looks like it's on a track. It just doesn't look that good at all. It's not all bad, it's just some of the effects are not the best. It could have been a bit better, but it was still passable to some extent. Something really nice actually was the gore effects. I thought the gore effects were really quite excellent in the movie, and they looked really good. They all looked slightly realistic, but I mean, with that obvious not realistic part to them, still thought it was decent to great for the gore. Something I will commend as well is the sets. The sets all look very nice in this movie. It's kind of hard to believe that this was even filmed in the late 90s. And if it was done nowadays, it would probably just be green screened. But nope. Or blue screen. Nope, not here. It's a real set and it looks great. There really hasn't been anything like this at the time, at least. And there really hasn't been much since. Minus the sequel to this movie and part of Three-Headed Shark Attack, I guess. But I thought they were quite good, and I thought they added to the movie. Overall, the effects, they weren't absolutely stunning, amazing, but I still thought they were relatively good. And this brings me to the last part of the movie review, which is the acting. The acting in this movie is actually pretty superb on almost star-studded shark movies ever. Nobody's going to deny that, with Samuel L. Jackson and LL Cool J being the two biggest actors in it. I thought the acting all around was actually really good. Everyone not only tried, but was actually effective and was able to express a decent amount of emotion. The main characters were able to get their point across very well, and I just thought everyone did a good job. That's why it's one of the only movies with Samuel L. Jackson, and he doesn't lose his shit also, which is really weird to think about. Like, right when he's about to, well, you know. Some of the minor supporting characters didn't really add anything to the movie, I will say, but I think the main characters, they added to it. The acting was quite good for a shark movie, and it was pretty alright for a Hollywood movie. But overall, is Deep Blue Sea the classic everyone thinks it is? Yeah, it's actually pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. I actually really did enjoy it. The acting was quite good. The characters, while not the best, were still alright. The story was really good for the time, I think. And I think the shark kills are nice. While it's certainly not the most original movie, and there's certainly other shark movies that have copied this, like tons of other shark movies that have copied this, maybe there's a reason. It's because this is actually a pretty good movie. Well, naturally, you would think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, shark movie of them all, since it's from Hollywood. And I will say there are definitely other shark movies that are better, but this movie is still quite good. It's aged pretty well, so it's not hard to go back to and watch it. One thing that is kind of impressive is that there is no stock footage in the movie at all. All the sharks are animated, and that's pretty good because many movies at this time with sharks use stock footage like Shark Attack, Shark Zone, Shark Attack 2, Shark Attack 3. I quite enjoyed the movie as a whole, and I recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it and has any fleeting interest in sharks or even monster movies. I have no trouble giving this movie a solid 5 out of 5 on the shark scale. Shark masterpiece. While it's not perfect, it definitely gets the highest rank on this scale. Thought it was very excellent as a whole. You really couldn't go wrong by watching this one. And that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, liking and subscribing, telling me I suck in the comments, or whatever you want to tell me in the comments, that would be great. This movie was actually requested, so thanks for that. And everyone have a great Christmas. See ya.